Huge crowd at Brands Hatch for this, the final race. Conditions very, very different. Reverse grid, I remind you. The top 10 change places. So on pole position, Ian Guy and Jed Pillmore Brady. Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charwood also getting a great start place on the grid. Right back on 10th place. There we have it. Kershaw and Clark, they've got to be fighting through. The Birchells love these sorts of conditions. Everybody with, most people with big chunky wet tyres. Ben and Tom Birchall, newly crowned world champions. They did that just a week ago in Germany. Ian Guy and Jed Pillmore Brady settling down, as indeed looking at the bike of Todd Ellis and Chaz Richardson, the 600 Cup champions, newly crowned in the opening race. Gary Bryan and Phil, what a shocking start for Gary Bryan and Phil Hyde. Everybody, the world and his friends, swept by. That time, Reeves and Wilkes getting a cracking start. Tim Reeves and Mark Wilkes then away. Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charwood, and Tim Reeves and Mark Wilkes right with them. That was an absolutely brilliant start for them, and through they go, chasing now then. Reeves and Wilkes away. There's Todd Ellis and Chaz Richardson. Ben and Tom Birchall fighting through. Didn't get the best of starts, but they can see just up the road the race leader, Tim Reeves and Mark Wilkes. Second place, the Quattro Plant JG Speedfit Kawasaki that's just been relegated by Todd Ellis and Chaz Richardson. And these pair have clashed all season long, it's fair to say. A couple of coming togethers at Thruxton when the fiberglass flew in all sorts of directions. The same again at Cadwell Park. So there's a bit of a history between these two. Birchall's coming there. Kershaw and Clark fighting up. Rick Lawrence passengering Roger Lovelock. I keep saying Rick Lawrence first, but of course Roger Lovelock, the 2009 champion on the number 49 Driver Wolf outfit there, still running BMW. Can he afford to put together a 600 for next year? Let's hope so, because the paddock is a richer place with them in it. Reeves and Wilkes leading. Stevens and Charwood there, you can see the caption along the bottom. 7th place it is for Roger Lovelock. Lewis Blackstock, Paddy Rosny behind them. Then it's Simon Gilbert and Jack Tritton. Kershaw and Clark, here comes Lovelock out of the slipstream, going past Ian Guy and Jed Pillmore Brady and making a really good job. Simon Gilbert and Jack Tritton, number 51, 3 abreast along the straight. How close do you want it? But Ian Guy got duffed up, he got punted left, punted right, and he came out the worst of those 3. Behind him, the number 95, Lewis Blackstock and Paddy Rosny. They've really got to terms with the long chassis this year, running very well in World Championship class. Ben and Tom Birchall, number 16, on the back of Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charwood. But the Kawasaki has got the legs for the Yamaha Birchalls. It's on the drop down, under Pilgrim's Drop, into the opening right-hander there out in the country. Then sprint along to Westfield. Here they are. Westfield Bend. Around that, and then they'll drop away down Dingledale. And the next right-hander will be Sheen Kerr. They're at Dingledale now. The Birchalls have got the better of Ricky and Ryan. We're only on lap 2 of 8. Andy Peach and Ken Edwards on the number 4 outfit also have made their way past Ian Guy. Ian Guy and Jed Pillmore Brady have done a fair bit of hill climbing this year and really enjoyed it. And after so many seasons, it's good to see Ian Guy still enjoying his racing as much as he does, and does it on a minimal budget. Very expensive business, racing sidecar outfits. The tyre bill alone at the top level can be many thousands per season. And a lot of these outfits, when it's dry, will get through a full set of tyres or maybe a set and a half over the course of a race weekend. So just put your sums together on that. Number 5, Rob Biggs and Jerome Schmitz on the Taurus Tools Honda. Rob Biggs, Jerome Schmitz going underneath Gary Horsepole and Jimmy Connell, who look like they might be losing that 5th place in the title that they've held all the way through the season. Biggs on that 600 Honda looking good. Gary Bryan and Phil Hyde after that dreadful start now fighting their way through. Phil Bell, Justin Sharp, Going well in this one, retirement in race one, and good to see Belly back in business. Horse pole then, there's Ian Guy. Kev Cable going well. Rob Biggs out in front, now he's got the better of horse pole. Still damp here, Tim Reeves and Mark Wilkes being chased down by Todd Ellis and Chaz Richardson, who are really riding like men inspired. Nothing to lose now. They've got it all to gain as well, and they've got the multiple world champions in their sights, and they're not phased at all, riding really, really well here on difficult conditions. And you can see that Tim Reeves doesn't spare the time to glance over the shoulder this time. He knows, in fact, he might even be able to hear that busy Honda looking up the inside precociously, but Todd Ellis and Chaz Richardson now closing down Tim and Mark Wilkes. Out into the country they go. The fastest part of the circuit, Pilgrim's Drop. That's about 140 miles an hour down there. Into the right-hander, then the sprint along to Westfield. You can see the dry bits opening up, the leaden skies above. Back with Phil Bell and Justin Sharp having a great battle with Gary Bryan and Phil Hyde, and getting the better of them, keeping the tight line round Paddock Hill Bend. At the front, though, this battle's still raging. And another good ride further down the order for Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence on the BMW. Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charwood have been mixing it with them. There's the look over the shoulder from Tim Reeves. No, I haven't shaken him off. We're on lap 5 of 8. And still this youngster, just 22 years of age, Todd Ellis, in only his second season. What a great job he has done. Rookie year in 2017, this year swept everything before him. Tim Reeves, on the other hand, has not been contesting the British Championship. Half a second between them. Further 4 seconds down the road, Ben and Tom Birchall in third place. And Todd and Chaz now on the Santander Salt CBR 600. Honda looking up the inside, and they're coming now into Surtees. No, sweeping round, taking the wider line and closing the door. Look at Mark Wilkes, look at the action of the passenger just tucked down there. Todd Ellis looking left, looking right. He's going to pull out of the slipstream. He's shadowing him down under the bridge. On board with Kershaw and Clark then. Ahead of them, Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charwood, former double champions in this domestic series. And the speed of the big Kawasaki, this will be the last time that Steve Kershaw races that bike in anger, because it all moves to 600cc power next year. Tail enders are Tim Reeves' speciality. That's Nev Jones, the back marker there, and sweeping through as well, Ellis goes with him. Brian still fighting. Phil Bell, the number 18. Phil Bell and Justin Sharp. Sharp, an occasional passenger. He comes out every now and then, and when he does a good job. Look at that, a bit of a kiss on the way through, and a gesture from Phil Bell, and I don't think it was a wave of congratulation. On the penultimate lap, it's Reeves and Wilkes. Todd Ellis, Chaz Richardson, more back markers ahead. And that's the Belgian, Bertrand Hu. And we are very close to Dover, of course. That means that these continental wildcards can catch a ferry, nip across the water, and have involvement in what is the most prestigious sidecar championship on the planet, without a doubt. Just last week at Oschersleben, the title was wrapped up by the Birchall brothers in front of almost a non-existent crowd. But here, we must have 25,000 people on this very damp finale Sunday. That title in the solo championship, the British Superbike Championship, wrapped up yesterday by Leon Haslam, his very first major title. Congratulations to him. But here, it's 3 wheels, not 2 wheels. It's Tim Reeves still heading Todd Ellis and Chaz Richardson. Down into Dingle Dell they go with, that's Philippe Gallienne and Helen Dealey. Frenchman, number 71, Philippe Gallienne, the amiable. Such a lovely man. On board with Gary, going underneath Ian Guy and Jed Pilmore Brady. Gary Bryan and Phil Hyde. And the penultimate lap then, Reeves still leading Todd Ellis, and Todd Ellis probably too far back now as the back really backs it in to Clearways. Onto the straight then, one more lap of the 2.433 Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit for Tim Reeves to defend that race win, and he's ridden absolutely brilliantly from the word go. Has he done enough though? Todd Ellis and Chaz Richardson with one lap to go, and they're now further back than they've been all race. So, to my mind, sitting here, it's looking unlikely. Tim Reeves far too canny for that, but he knows they're coming. He's looking over the shoulder. He knows they're coming. Todd Ellis then looking at the inside, and the back marker staying out of the way. Through they go out into the country. This is it, the fastest part of the circuit, 140 miles an hour. They're neck and neck, they're side by side. Todd Ellis and Chaz Richardson alongside the master Tim Reeves, but they're on the outside line. They might be on the dry, but he's got the inside line, and it's the fast line. Tim Reeves and Mark Wilkes then, Westfield ahead of them. They're halfway around this final lap. They're right at the furthest point out in the country as they drop down into Dingledale with yet one more tail ender ahead of them, but I think that tail ender is a bit too far up the road. I don't think it's going to prove to be a problem for them. It's Nick Webb. Nick Webb having a one-off and a retirement. Nick Webb, number 10, will stay out of the way. Look at that. Todd Ellis is alongside Tim Reeves. Oh, they sweep past Nick Webb, and it's into Clearways. Reeves has got it. Reeves has got his nose in front. On the inside, though, is Todd Ellis. They're side by side. There's a bit of contact. Sprinting for the line. They are neck and neck. Can Tim Reeves muster anything? His head was down. Chaz Richardson puts his hand in the air. That was so close. It was a fraction of a second. Tim thinks he's got it. Todd thinks he's got it. Mark Wilkes doesn't care because he loved the race. Likewise, Chaz Richardson. What a top-class race. And it was Todd Ellis. Todd Ellis by half a nose. That is an absolute fraction. What a brilliant, brilliant victory. Race winner, though, Ellis and Richardson. First major victory against the best in the world. Well done. What a storming race. Look at that. 5 1/1000ths of a second ahead of Reeves. Birchall third. Kershaw, Stevens, Lovelock and Lawrence. Another brilliant ride for them. Andy Peach and Ken Edwards in wet conditions did really, really well. Ben Holland, Lee Watson got a finish there as wildcards ahead of Lewis Blackstock and Paddy Rosney. Gary Bryan and Phil Hyde, an appalling start. They were never to recover from that, but that battle with Phil Bell and Justin Sharp raged all race long.